Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. Welcome to AVFC Daily News. This doesn't really happen that daily, to be fair, but when there is news, I will react to it. And it's news regarding our manager and the sports. So last week, we had a lot of drivel coming out from the press of Unai Emery would leave Aston Villa to move to a so-called elite top four club within a heartbeat if offered the job. Last week, I reacted and said I felt like that was a load of rubbish. And until you understand what's going on behind the scenes at Aston Villa, the level of control that Unai Emery has at Aston Villa, those statements are wide of the mark. Today's news enhances my view that Unai Emery is all in at Aston Villa. We know that Unai Emery loves complete control, and for him to have complete control with his sporting directors, with Vidagani, with the people that are working alongside him, you get the best out of Unai Emery. Now, some big news today regarding V Sports. We know that V Sports are marching into a lot of different territories. And now we're about to march into Spain, into a club that majority stakeholder Unai Emery owns. So let's get straight in there because this is big, big news. Because what this shows to me is the relationship with NSWE and Unai Emery is unbreakable. They are locked in. They are working together in unison over the course of Aston Villa, but not only Aston Villa, but V Sports as well. Unai Emery at Aston Villa, this is the real deal. This is the future of Aston Villa for many, many years to come. We are building a partnership and it's just going to blossom. It's just going to grow. And we are at just the start of this. We're at the infancy of Unai Emery at Aston Villa. So there's a great article that has broke the news. So we're going to read through the article. We're going to get a bit of a better understanding as well. And we'll get into it. So it's coming from, I'm just not going to butcher what it's called. It's from the top, you can see there. That's where the article's coming from. So Aston Villa finalises its entry into Real Union. A bit of a history on them. They're currently playing in the sort of like the third tier of Spanish football that got relegated. Unai Emery's family members have played for this football club as well. So it feels like this club is in Unai's heart. And I imagine that's why he was the majority stakeholder. And now Aston Villa, V Sports are coming along to add money into this club. So intense hours at the Stadion Gal, 2.5 years after coach Unai Emery acquired a majority stake in Real Union. The Urundara club is about to give entry to the business group that owns Aston Villa, an English Premier League club that trains the Hondarribia coach himself. Butchered it. So we'll scroll down a little bit as well. I'm reading off my iPad because it's easier if I do that because I have a bit of a mess sometimes when I'm reading off this screen. So until the concrete terms of the understanding with Aston Villa, which is beginning to build an international holdings of clubs such as City through purchases of agreements are made public, none of the knowers of the movement in the institutional and sports fields wants to access the depth of the decision. In office since July 2021, the current board of directors of Real Union hopes that the club will ascend to the second division, a source of greater income compared to the first RFEF. The last shareholders meeting approved the budget of 2.4 million compared to revenue of 1.7 million euros, with a loss close to 700,000 euros the previous season. The budgeted amount amounted to 2.06 million. So since relegation from the second division in 2019, to 2010 season. The Indundara team has remained in the old second B, where it played again 2 phases of promotion and another to avoid relegation in the first RFEF. Founded in 21 to 22 season, the start of the current bronze category coincided in the time with the arrival of Unai Emery. Under his mandate, the set has been ranked 13 to 8. The First Union team today occupies the 6th position in Group 1 of the first RFEF at the gates of play with 19 points, but 2 from the leader. Info on V Sports. V Sports, the Aston Villa group. The Aston Villa owned Nasriris, Wesley Edens, who created the NSWE holding company since July 2018. And after promotion from the following season, the growth they intend to implement in Birmingham club want it to be sustainable over time compared to other British clubs that have slipped into Big 5 positions as soon as they quickly left it, such as West Ham, Leicester and Wolves. Aston Villa intends to enter that distinguished Premier League club to stay in for what it considers it key to create a sports emporium in the style of City Football Club, Manchester City. And they've got clubs in Australia, France, Uruguay, Japan, Brazil, Italy, Belgium, India, Girona, leaders of the first division. The first big step of V Sports, which the Egyptian club ZFC in its network wanted to achieve a license in an American club, a goal that is currently frustrated. So we know that NSWE want to have a club in America, but we've yet to see that come to fruition. They've also got newly acquired Vissel Kobe, owned by multinational Rakuten, so the sponsor that has been on Barcelona's shirt. They own Vissel Kobe. We now know that Villa have got links to that as well. So we'll read a little bit more of the article. A strategic partnership in which, according to both Villa and Vissel Kobe, they will work to create a bilateral development framework for young players along with an exchange of ideas, techniques, best practices between both clubs. The alliance seeks to open even more pathways for talented Japanese players to play in Europe and ultimately in Aston Villa. Both entities pointed out the importance of exchange of technical knowledge and methodology. So that basically shows that what all these different clubs that V Sports are owning in their entities, this is what the type of thing that can prevail. So, second capital increase in 2 years. As far as the offices are concerned, the Irodara Joint Stock Company is in full capital increase. The club shareholding process in the second, in a matter of 2 years, led by Igor Emery at the head of the board of directors. In the first, it captured about 292,000 euros. Among those who were already shareholders during the first phase, an operation that was completed by the majority stake, which contributed 1 million euros until the expansion was completed. So we'll just scroll down to see if there's any more. So in essence, V Sports are backing Unai Emery in his entity of Real Unión, the club in Spain. And I just think this just highlights the partnership that we've got with Unai Emery. It's massive. It means a lot. This is big news that V Sports are combining with Unai Emery's club. If we have a little look at where Real Unión currently sit in their league, so they are sitting in 6th place with 11 games played on 19 points. So they've had a little bit of a blip, but there's some positive results in there as well. So they're doing okay. And they're going to want to look to climb through those leagues as well. And I imagine that they're going to want to get into, the top bracket of La Liga. So big news, because last week we heard about our manager was potentially going to up and go to an elite club, but you have to understand what is happening at Aston Villa, and it's big news. So another club looks like it's going to be acquired by V Sports, and it holds, fresh impetus with Unai Emery at the helm as well. So big news, Villa fans. Big news indeed. V Sports goes marching on. So, Villa fans, let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on this news. I think it's absolutely massive. It's absolutely massive for where we are going with Unai Emery as well. So, another club. Who we got now then? ZFC, Vissel Kobe, Real Unión, Aston Villa. So, we've got loads of clubs to keep an eye on now. So, absolutely buzzing. Drop a like, subscribe, up the Villa.